Minute? 1 minute? Good evening. Thank you for coming to Albany City Council Work Session, Monday, January 26, 2026, at 4 p.m. I now call the meeting to order, and please have a roll call.
Counselor Newton,
Present.
Counselor Thompson,
Here.
Counselor Van Drimmelen, Counselor McLeod,
Present.
Counselor Smith,
Here.
Counselor McGee is excused, and Mayor Johnson.
Here. Councilor, do you come on?
Councilor Drimlin had sent an email earlier that he's with a sick child.
Okay. He did mention he's going to be online, but he must have changed it. Public comment is the time for Albany residents.
Can I interject? I'm sorry, if you can indulge me for a moment. We have a happy coincidence today on this council. We have 2 members who are having a birthday. And in the spirit of birthday, kind of like at school, I brought mini cupcakes for everyone. I'm just going to pass them along.
Thank you. I'm excited for cupcakes. Thank you.
I'll get one after the meeting.
Thank you, Counselor Thompson. That's so kind of you.
Councilor Thompson.
Thanks for that moment.
Public comment is a time for Albany residents to speak and for councilors to listen. The council won't discuss topics or make decisions during public comment, but will take comments and requests under advisement. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and must follow the council's rules and observe the same standards of decorum. If unable to do so, they will be asked to step down and take a seat in the audience for the rest of the meeting. When you get to the microphone, please give your name, state whether or not you live in the city of Albany. Written public comment was submitted by Cameron Sotomayor. It's on the dais. Community survey results. Okay. Anybody signed up? Yeah, we got one. Thank you. Mark Stewart? Yes, please, have a seat.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Stewart. I live over on Queen Avenue. I've been in Albany for about 4.5, 5 years now. Considering the gravity of what I would like to address with the council, I do not possess the oratory skills or the requisite, even the requisite education to do so within the 3-minute allotted time period. If you would like to hear me out in my entirety all today, I am happy to do so. If not, I can also come back in weekly and try to pick up where I leave off. I leave that up to you guys.
Would you feel like submitting written comment?
How would that function?
He'll get that information to you. What could you send us written comment? We can read it and be prepared for it when you come back.
It'll be pretty lengthy. Is that all right?
That's right. Yes. You still have 1 minute and 50 seconds, but I'm offering to you send us public comment through him or his council's website, and we'll read it for the next meeting. We prepared for you.
That might work out better. In the minute and a half that I got left, I'll let you get to know me a little bit. I am medically retired from the Army. I served one tour in Iraq, made the rank of sergeant, and I've been just trying to live quietly and peacefully under the radar in my house. And it's given me a great deal of time to think and reflect and consider things. And I will not waste any more of your time than I have to. I will write that up and submit it. I think I saw the link online for that. So I will try to submit that for consideration in your next meeting. Thank you.
Come back and talk to us, okay?
Absolutely.
Thanks for your service, by the way. 11 years, 10 years in the Navy.
I got to be honest. I've been feeling real bad of late when anyone thanks me for my service.
I understand.
But thank you
I
for
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is community survey results. Presentation by Matt Harrington and Polko information.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. As most of you know, the National Community Survey, or NCS, is a product from a company called Polko, and we have used it in the last 3 time periods, 2020, 2023, and again last year, to provide a statistically valid survey of national benchmarked data for information about our community and community sentiment. So this is, like I said, our 3rd time using this product. As in 2023, bilingual invitations and reminder postcards were mailed out to 1,000 randomly selected addresses in each council ward. In each council ward, and then in addition, there was an open participation study or survey that people were able to fill out online. It didn't matter if they were invited to the statistical survey. So participation in both of those was promoted through posters, in our email newsletter, social media, and other community partners networks. So we hope that these results offer some more valuable data as you guys go forward with the strategic plan update. This will provide some more feedback from the community. And you can find all of the report summaries from the past 3 Polko runs, plus some other older ones where we used other methodology and that sort of thing, available on our website. There's a link on the homepage, or you can just go to albanyoregon.gov/survey. And with that, I'll turn it over to Grace from Polko, and she'll lead you through the rest of the summary.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. Today, I'll walk through the results of the 2025 National Community Survey for Albany. This presentation will take about 15 to 20 minutes, followed by time for questions. Before I begin, I want to thank Matt Harrington. He was our primary contact throughout the survey process and provided thoughtful feedback every step of the way. So before we dive into results, I'd like to share a brief background of Polko and the National Community Survey. Polko is an online engagement platform that helps local governments gather feedback from residents and employees. Today, hundreds of organizations across the country use Polko for informing strategic planning, budgeting, and empowering resident voices. Polko merged with National Research Center, or NRC, back in 2019. And NRC is best known for our national benchmarking surveys, such as the National Community Survey, or the NCS, the National Employee Survey, and the Community Assessment for Older Adults, among others. We also partner closely with the International City Managers Association and the National League of Cities, as well as many other local government and academic leaders. So one key benefit of this survey is the ability to compare your residents' ratings with those from communities across the country. This comparison helps show how local services and other community characteristics perform relative to other communities in our database. Our national benchmark database currently includes about 400 communities total, and you'll see the resulting comparisons throughout this presentation. So I want to highlight that there are several ways that these results can be used. As Matt mentioned, most communities use the survey data to track trends in resident opinion over time and inform their budgeting and strategic planning. The results also allow you to compare your results against the national benchmark. And as we walk through these findings, our hope is that they spark ideas for where you may want to explore further. So a little bit about the survey itself. The NCS is a standardized 5-page survey that measures resident opinions about their community and local government. It organizes questions into 10 key facets of community livability, which are on the screen here. And these are what research shows is most important to overall quality of life. These facets also provide a comprehensive view of resident perspectives and generally align with city departments, making it easy for staff to find results that they might use. So an overview here of how the survey was conducted in 2025. This was Albany's third time conducting the NCS with previous iterations in 2020 and 2023. We started by selecting survey recipients. So to begin, a list of addresses was purchased from the US Postal Services and cleaned using city boundary files to remove any addresses that were outside of Albany. From that list, 3,000 households were randomly selected to receive the survey invitations. So those selected households received 2 mailings beginning on September 16th, and the survey remained open for about 6 weeks. The first mailing was a postcard invite with a link to the survey as well as a QR code to encourage online participation. And the following mailer was a survey packet containing a cover letter, survey, and postage paid return envelope. The survey was available in both Spanish and English, and all mailings included both languages for those instructions. In total, 364 completed surveys were returned, resulting in a 13% response rate, which in comparison, the average we saw in 2025 was right around 11 to 12%. So 13% is a great response rate, and that results in a margin of error of plus or minus 5 percentage points. The results were then weighted using Census and American Community Survey data to ensure that results better reflect Albany's demographic makeup. In addition to the random sample, as Matt mentioned, the city also shared an online version of the survey that was available to all residents, and this was open for 2 weeks in October and received a total of 114 responses. This presentation and the main report are primarily based on the 364 responses from the randomly selected survey. However, results from the open participation survey are included in the full online report. So now let's dive into the survey results. In the survey, we have 2 questions that ask directly about those 10 facets of community livability I mentioned earlier. The first asks residents to rate the quality of each, and you can see those results here. So this represents the percentage of respondents that rated each category here as excellent or good. Looking at these results, the highest rated areas were parks and recreation, natural environment, utilities, and safety, while the relatively lower rated areas were mobility, economy, and inclusivity and engagement. All quality ratings included here scored lower than the benchmark, with the exception of utilities, which was similar. So the second question asks about those same 10 facets of livability, but it's centered on how important residents think it is for the community to focus on each facet in the coming 2 years. Here you'll see that economy, safety, and utilities emerged as top priorities, while education, arts, and culture, inclusivity and engagement, and mobility were less prioritized by residents. So we ask about both the quality and the importance to use the quality importance gap chart, which we'll see on the next slide. So this chart essentially compares both the quality and importance. It is also included in the report, and it helps us determine which areas are relatively higher in importance and lower in quality to residents. So as shown here, economy had the largest gap, meaning it was lowest in quality and highest in importance. Inclusivity and engagement also showed notable gaps. This chart is one of many ways that you can interpret your data and can be used to help a community determine which areas may need additional focus. And we will certainly be covering the two topics with the largest gaps today. So of the 123 survey items for which residents provided evaluative ratings, 50 were similar to the national benchmark and 73 were lower. Here, ratings are considered similar if they are within 10 points of the national average, and higher or lower if they are more than 10 points different from the average. In terms of trends, when compared to Albany's 2023 results, in 2025, 92 received similar ratings to the previous survey, and 31 decreased from 2022. So moving now into the highlights of our findings, I want to point out a few things that stood out to us as survey researchers, but I want to mention that there is a lot of additional data in the full report that we won't cover today. But today's presentation will focus on a few areas we found to be most noteworthy. However, I strongly encourage you to dive into the full report when you have a chance. So key finding number 1, residents value a high quality of life in Albany. About 6 in 10 residents positively rated Albany as a place to live and the overall quality of life in the city. In addition, about 7 in 10 plan to remain in the city for the next 5 years and would recommend living in Albany to someone who asked. Key finding number 2, residents continue to feel safe in their neighborhoods and community spaces. So here, about 9 in 10 residents, a strong majority, indicated that they feel safe in their neighborhood during the day, while about 8 in 10 residents expressed feeling safe in the downtown and commercial area during the day. About 8 in 10 residents also felt safe from fire, flood, or other natural disaster, while roughly 7 in 10 felt safe from violent crime. Lastly, about 6 in 10 felt safe from property crime, a rating that was lower than the national benchmark. But positively, all ratings here remained stable with the previous survey results from 2023. When asked about safety services, more than 8 in 10 residents positively viewed fire services, while about 7 in 10 residents expressed satisfaction with ambulance and EMS services, as well as fire prevention and education. About 6 in 10 residents positively rated police and sheriff services and animal control, although both of these did experience a decline since 2023, and police and sheriff services scored below the national benchmark. All other ratings here were on par with the benchmark.
If you don't mind me asking, what is the
Number
national
3,
benchmark?
economic health and employment opportunities may show room for growth.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the national benchmark for?
So when asked about the economy, a majority of residents rated the overall quality of business and service establishments positively, about 6 in 10. About half of residents expressed satisfaction with the vibrancy of the downtown and commercial area, and roughly 4 in 10 residents gave positive ratings to shopping opportunities, the variety of business and service establishments, and Albany as a place to work.
Excuse me, Grace?
Relatively lower
Grace?
ratings
Grace?
were reported for Albany as a place to visit
Grace?
and employment opportunities, which was below the national benchmark, as well as cost of living. So a note here, it is important to note that local government does not have direct control over all of these factors, but together they do paint a picture of how residents perceive the local economy overall. Key finding 4, environmental services receive strong ratings while views of the natural environment are mixed. So about 8 in 10 residents positively rated yard waste pickup, while about 6 in 10 were satisfied with recycling services and air quality. Nearly half of residents gave excellent or good ratings to the city's cleanliness, the preservation of natural areas, and open space in Albany. I see a hand raised there.
I had a question regarding the police rating. What is the national average?
Yeah, so
Benchmark, excuse me.
we don't disclose the national average specifically, but just keep in mind that if you are similar, that means you're within 10 points of that national average. If you are below, you are over 10 points lower than the national average.
Also,
Thank you.
can I make one request, just because I don't know why, but it's getting me? It's not Albany, it's Albany.
Thank
We're all bunny rabbits. The city used to be
Albany,
all
thank you.
bunnies. That's why we're called Albany, not Albany. Now we have humans here, but you know, that's how I get people. I'm like, it's only rabbit.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Sorry.
That is my Nebraska accent coming out. We like the long A. Albany. Thank you so much. All right. So continuing, so about 4 in 10 residents were satisfied with water resources, which marked a decrease since 2023. With the exception of yard waste pickup and recycling, all ratings included here were below the national benchmark. So residents provide mixed feedback on Albany's transportation system and infrastructure. About 6 in 10 residents positively rated the ease of travel by car in the city. About half were satisfied with the ease of public parking, the ease of walking, and traffic flow on major streets. About 4 in 10 appreciated the ease of travel by bicycle, while just 2 in 10 positively viewed the ease of public transportation favorably. All ratings here were similar to the national benchmark with the exception of the ease of walking. Regarding mobility services, about half were satisfied with street lighting, traffic signal timing, along with street cleaning. About 4 in 10 residents viewed traffic enforcement and snow removal favorably. Snow removal and street cleaning were rated below the national benchmark, while all other items here were similar to the benchmark. Number 6, lower ratings for community connection may point to a need for a renewed focus on engagement. So about half of residents in Albany positively rated it as a place to raise children, which was a decrease since 2023. Around 4 in 10 expressed satisfaction with overall neighborliness. About 1/3 gave positive ratings to the sense of community in Albany, attracting people from diverse backgrounds, and the sense of community or civic pride. The sense of community in Albany did decrease significantly since 2023. Albany, excuse me. Only about 1/4 of residents expressed satisfaction with resident connection and engagement, along with K-12 education, both of which decreased from 2023 results. All ratings included here scored below the national benchmark. So in addition to the standard survey questions, Albany asked a set of unique custom questions. We'll dive into these results next. First, we asked residents what would encourage them to attend public meetings more often. About 77% indicated that offering meetings remotely would encourage them to attend, while more than half expressed interest in meetings held outside of standard weekday work hours. About 1/4 were more likely to attend if meetings were held at a city facility, at a location with food and beverages available, or at any location within the city. Residents were also asked how important it is to increase protection or improve natural resources and recreation areas in Albany. About 8 in 10 residents said it was essential or very important to protect or improve significant wetlands, or to protect or improve trees and native vegetation in the city. Around 7 in 10 rated it as essential or very important to improve riparian and habitat corridors and improve shaded paths and sidewalks. So here, a quick summary of results. Residents value a high quality of life in Albany. Residents continue to feel safe in their neighborhood and community spaces. Economic health and employment opportunities may show room for growth. Environmental services receive strong ratings, while views of the natural environment are mixed. Residents provide mixed feedback on Albany's transportation system and infrastructure, and lower ratings for community connection may point to a need for a renewed focus on engagement. The city can continue engaging with residents on POLCO to learn more about the community opinions outlined today. Albany's POLCO profile currently has 1,300 residents subscribed, creating an opportunity for ongoing feedback. And this is included in your current subscription, so it supports quick polls, surveys, and live events. POLCO staff are readily available to support the survey design or engagement efforts as needed. With that, I'd like to thank you all so much for your time and open it up for questions.
Council?
We didn't get a copy of this report in advance. I haven't seen it at least.
Neither do I.
I also really wish we would have gotten these slides in advance as well. It would have been nice to digest this information.
Give us a chance to prepare questions as well.
Absolutely. Also, snow removal, that's kind of not really a thing. So I'm happy it decreased because personally, I'm not a fan of snow.
Is there a way we can get a copy of these slides?
End of the report with the crosstabs, maybe?
Absolutely. So those crosstabs are offered online only because they are a bit more interactive, but we do offer a PDF overview that excludes those comparisons. But we have all demographic comparisons available online. And we also included the 3 city council wards as a comparison option too.
Excellent.
Go ahead, Counselor. Go ahead.
Thank you. I am wondering if you know why people were responding that it seems like they think that meetings are not available virtually or in city buildings when we're talking to you online from City Hall. Can you give us some insight into that?
And outside work hours.
And we
Yeah, you know, I can't speak to why exactly they responded that way, but that is something that you could certainly dig deeper on. So I think that is certainly an area that's curious. I wondered that as well myself when I was joining remotely. That maybe that is an indicator that residents just don't know that it is available to join remotely. So perhaps an opportunity for more communication and digging deeper on that subject.
Go ahead. Oh, I would say the one that really stuck out to me was the community pride, how that went down, and like community engagement, involvement, how that, I'm curious how the question was formulated, how the information was presented. I'm not sure
Every
how
event I go to is full.
yeah, I'd love to get access to this online version and really dig through all this data. This is something I personally love to do. But I'm curious if you could speak to that.
Question.
Yeah, that was regarding which rating exactly? I couldn't
The
quite
community
hear you there.
engagement, community pride.
Gotcha. Yes, so again, I can't speak to exactly why residents rated something a certain way, but those are certainly indicators of areas where you can dig deeper. And in terms of the survey question, we'd be happy to provide you a copy of the survey verbatim as well, so that you can read through how the question was posed.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
That goes to
Absolutely.
my question. I wanted to, water resources had a very low rating, and it was down from before. How was that question posed? What water resources are being asked about? Drinking
Yeah, there
water,
is
swimming water?
a parenthetical for that question. So that would ask about water resources specifically. Let me just read this. The parenthetical indicates that those are, one moment as the survey loads here. So water resources are outlined as beaches, lakes, ponds, riverways, etc.
Thank you.
And the question was, please rate each of the following in the Albany community with the scale option of excellent, good, fair, poor, or don't know.
Thanks.
Counselor Thompson? Counselor Van Dremel? Oh, he's not there, I'm sorry. Anybody else?
I'm online, but I don't.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Are you coming
Thank
back
you very
sometime
much
in the
and have a wonderful night.
Are you coming back sometime in the future, or Matt will share that with us when he gets ready for it? Are you coming back sometime in the future? You are? Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear
Are you
there.
coming back sometime in the future?
I'm not planning to, but I'd be more than happy to answer any questions via email. So it is just grace@polco.us. Email me if you'd like any of this information. I'm happy to share it.
Can you just send us this information? This is me asking you to send us the information.
And the results of the survey are available online and to us and to the public currently.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for being here this afternoon. Next on tonight's agenda is proposed amendments to the Albany Municipal Code, AMC 2.27, Community Development Commission, Caitlin Martin and Ann Catlin.
Thank you, Mayor and Councilors. I'm Ann Catlin with the Community Development Department.
And Caitlin Martin. So in December, staff came to council and presented proposed amendments to AMC 2.27 for the Community Development Commission. And those amendments included reducing the size of the commission, allowing for less restrictive composition, establishing term limits, and adding conflict of interest provisions. During that discussion, council expressed interest in having commissioners appointed by the full council rather than solely by the mayor, and directed staff to return with options reflecting this approach. So we have provided a handout for you guys outlining 2 appointment options as well as 2 term options, and we would just like your guys' feedback and what you guys would like to see when we come back for action on this in February.
Thank you. I'm looking at the options proposed to us for the membership number. I would be apt to go for option 1 with the 7 members, as well as option 2 for the term limits of 2 consecutive 3-year terms.
I like both option 1s personally.
Okay.
I'm down with 3 consecutive 3-year terms.
9 years.
Yeah, sometimes some good sometimes.
Councilors?
I agree. Option 1, 7 members. I mean, I'm just glad for the change. You know, this is not hard and fast, but mostly option 1, and yeah, mostly option 1, 3 consecutive 3-year terms, because if someone's doing a good job and they want to continue, we just gone through a round of appointing folks, and it's hard to give folks, and so I want to give that person a chance to stay on. You know, subject to the council.
Yeah, and the appointing council member can always remove them if needed, if they
Yeah.
so desired.
Yeah, correct.
Did Councilor Van Dremelen see this?
In the packet.
Just in this one here is?
Not in that
Yeah,
form, but those options are.
Did you see the options, Councilor Van Dremelen?
Yeah,
Oh, you did? Okay.
I would concur on option 1 personally.
Okay, Councilor Smith?
I'll be the outlier here. I like the 9-member option, and the 9-member option and the three-year terms for the reason that This is a very important commission. It's different from the other ones. They're all important. This is important in a different way. We're doling out carefully, handing out government money to social service agencies, and they need serious consideration. I think the broader the options of people to review those applications is better than a smaller review. If we're talking about, I know we're talking about the problems of getting a quorum of 4 people looking at a third of $1,000,000 to hand out for very important services is not as good, in my opinion, as 5 people. And we have the opportunity of appointing people from a broader spectrum of personal experience and interests. I'm going to stick with the top, and I'll just carry that through for the 3 consecutive terms. It takes a long time to get to understand the system and to understand what each of the agencies do, and having that kind of background and the experience and the opportunity to evaluate those services over that length of time is better. It makes for a better distribution of money. Experience is important.
I support the 9 because I know how difficult it is to get a quorum. And also having more people with their eyes on the grant requests, I think it makes more sense to do the 9. But I do not, 2 consecutive 3-year terms is, I believe, long enough. But you're right about the experience, so I'll go ahead and capitulate to that. I'll support the 3 consecutive terms of 3 years. Yes.
I'm supporting the 2 consecutive 3-year terms. I think that while it is important that our members have experience, I think it's also important that we refresh the who is on this body. We need more fresh faces more often to have a fresher set of input.
That was clear as mud, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we would like to bring back an ordinance that you are willing to pass at the end of February, and I wonder if anyone has any other thoughts after hearing everyone provide their thoughts on these 2 items.
I think the 9, for me, because I've been on it for several years, I think the 9 makes more sense because of the quorum. It's hard to get a quorum already with 9, so I think the 5 would be great.
I'd like to hear from Councilor McGee. She's very wise.
She's not here, though.
I know, but we have until the end of February.
So can we have a conversation with Councilor McGee on the dais before the next work session?
I guess we could come back if there's
It'd be
room on
nice
the
to have her.
agenda. I
It'd be nice
think
to have
you're
her
having
input.
strategic plan. I don't know that we have an opportunity to come back. I mean, we can also wait and bring this back later and get some input on February 28th, I think is the date that we were planning to come.
That works for me.
25th, or, yeah,
Something like
whatever your second
Work session.
February meeting is.
Well, it's the same time we have the Community Development Commission, too.
Just one more thought on the membership number. I'm opposed to the option 2 for the membership number simply because I don't think that one person should have appointments to 1/3 of the body. That's another reason why I'm opposing option 2.
It sounds like we have 4 votes for 7 members. And the rest, the other choices, 3 or 3 or 2-3.
Well, we will bring back the majority, what we heard tonight, and if we're able to hear from Councilor McGee, we can add to that. And then if there are any other questions about the other amendments, this would be a great time to ask questions about those so that, we are sure to bring back the detailed ordinance. So we provided a draft still with options in your packet.
Could you please share about the conflict? So people are
Yeah,
aware of that?
so Caitlin discussed this at the last meeting, but we propose adding the conflict of interest provisions to the municipal code because this past year when we requested approval from HUD. The HUD attorney didn't want anyone who had a conflict of interest, which in HUD's mind is anyone who sits on a board. It doesn't matter whether there's a financial conflict of interest. Didn't want them even scoring the application. So that's one of the main jobs of the Community Development Commission. And so we thought we should just go ahead and add that to the municipal code. We do have right now, we have 9 of 10 members on the Community Development Commission, and 2 out of the 9 would no longer be able to serve under this. Just for your information, I think we have pretty good attendance at the Community Development Commission meetings, if that makes a difference, but
It's one less meeting for me.
I agree with that assessment. I believe the conflict of interest language should be in the revised ordinance.
yeah. We also think making it a little easier to appoint members by having no specific slots to fill will make it a lot easier. And I will say the mayor's done a really good job of trying to appoint members from all the different wards so that when this converts over to your appointments, you may find that some of the current members that are serving, you know, are in your ward, and there's no requirement that you appoint somebody from your ward. So we hope that'll make it a little bit easier to have appointments. Any other questions or thoughts? Okay, well, we'll bring back the majority and we will check in with Councilor McGee.
My last meeting's in June.
Well, we can talk about that. You can resign before then, it's fine, yeah.
I want to get the current round out before.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you very
thank you
much
for your
that.
time.
Thank you.
6, formally document extended enterprise zone abatements, Valascore LLC. Sophie Adams will be speaking, 7 to 11 in your packet.
Good afternoon. As you said, this is an item looking at formally documenting the extended enterprise zone abatement for Valascore. First, I'd just like to apologize that there were some typos in the packet that was published. That's been corrected now. So you should have an accurate copy emailed out to you earlier today, as well as I believe one on the dais. So the numbers that were a typo were just occurred in that second paragraph, but they were accurate everywhere else. So hopefully you had a chance to look at those numbers, but I'll go over them now. So like it says in the memo, the purpose of this type of item is to support innovation, business recruitment, investment, and job creation through use of the tool that we have, and it's applied throughout the state, called the Enterprise Zone Tool. By now, I think you have all heard me talk and others talk about Valascore before, so I won't go into their history again right now, other than we've been working with them for several years now as part of our strategy here at the City of Albany to capture the innovation that's coming out of our nearby universities that are turning into companies and trying to get them to stay here and create jobs here and invest here. So Valascore purchased a vacant industrial property on Ferry Street. They're planning to invest over $25 million in the build out of their new facility. You'll see that number has gone up since the last time I was here, not surprisingly. The company will retain its current 15 employees and plans to hire an additional 40, and that's just in the first phase alone. So in the future, they're looking at closer to 100. So a little bit about the Enterprise Zone program. It's pretty simple. It's a program that is authorized through state statute, and it allows designated enterprise zones to offer up to 5 years of local property tax exemption on new investments in exchange for job creation and that capital investment that a company makes within the city. So again, they're looking at about a $25 million investment, 15, 40, up to 100 new employees by the end of their phases. And in order to qualify for this additional 2 years, they make a commitment to pay those new employees at least an average of at least 150% of the Lynn County's median wage. So offering to pay or committing to pay a higher wage in exchange to qualify for this additional 2 years. I won't go too far into the weeds on this. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thinking about those survey results that we saw earlier, economy is number one. And she mentioned that there's not a whole lot that we at the city can do in terms of how people in general feel about the economy in the state level or the nationwide level. But this tool is one thing that we can do to help incentivize living wage jobs and companies investing here in Albany. So with that, happy to take any questions.
Counselor Smith?
Lynn County has to weigh in on this, don't they?
Yes, thank you. So council will take action tonight one way or another. In order for the abatement to be approved, Lynn County commissioners will also have to consider this item.
Counselor Thompson?
Yeah, not a question, it's just what leaps out at me is the commitment to the 150% of the Lynn County median wage. I mean, that kind of makes it a no-brainer and an easy decision. Well, okay, not an easy decision because we are asking them, we are giving up something. So not easy, but it smooths the path with that commitment to those kind of jobs.
Counselor Van Drumlin, do you have anything? You're online.
No specific input. I'm in support of this, though.
Any other counselors? Counselor McLeod?
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
No, go ahead.
Counselor Newton.
I hadn't formulated a thought yet.
Okay. I like that this supports a healthy economy as part of our strategic plan. I like that it pays workers more. I do like that. I went to the groundbreaking for Valascore, and I'm looking forward to having them in our community. However, I don't really like giving tax breaks. I want to see taxes pay for road repairs, and so I'm having trouble with this.
Thanks for that. Counselor Newton?
I concur. So yes, I understand like economic incentives and that it's needed. I will say my one little snide remark was that Valascore came before the House Economic Development Committee and said they were from Corvallis. I was like, you guys are now from Albany. I'm really sorry. Like, please rep your city now.
Well, they're from. They're moving here.
They're
Where they
now.
started.
It's like I'm like, okay,
I think they did say that they were really happy to come to Albany, though.
they better be. And next time they come and discuss things at the state level, they better say Albany is the best. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but so I understand the kind of the icky feeling of like doing kind of like what can be seen as like a tax break, but there is also the benefits of having higher wage jobs here. So I understand, but it still just feels a little weird, especially when we're have crumbling roads and infrastructure that are going to continue.
They still have to pay fees and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
they're still going to be, and also hopefully they'll attract more people to live here,
Yeah.
which will then increase the tax base, and so we'll see.
This feels like a moment for a reminder that property taxes don't pay for road repairs.
I'm aware.
However, high-wage jobs pay higher income taxes, and that gets spread across
Everything.
a much bigger pan.
So what would we like her to do? Want to bring it back?
Counselor Smith, Mayor may also point out that they're also paying the city services fee
Yes.
as well.
For those who, well, the company itself will pay that.
And also permits and inspection fees and all the things that go with it, and SDCs.
And they may have the opportunity someday to pay a transportation utility fee, which would pay for road repair.
So bring it back, Wednesday or when? Oh, you got to talk to the county first, right?
It'll appear on the consent agenda on Wednesday, and then depending on the action there, I'll get it on the schedule for the county commissioners after that point.
Okay, because Dr. McGee will be back then as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, business from the council. Who did I start with last time? I started with Ward 1 last time. Counselor Smith?
I don't have anything today.
Counselor Van Dremelen?
No new business from me tonight.
Counselor McLeod?
Yeah, I have a couple things. Question for the city manager. Do we have an update on the request? Well, I have a couple things. This is the first. Do we have an update on the request for a report of cleanup activities and invasive weed control at Taquina Landing Park?
Yes, I can give you some information now, or we can wait till Wednesday night when Director Ledane is back. But she has given me some information, and if you'd like to hear from me rather than her, I'm happy to run through it.
I'd love to hear
Okay.
whatever is more, the more comprehensive report, but if you could maybe give us a
I'll,
little highlight, that would be great.
I'll give her what she's given me, and then if you have any questions for her on Wednesday, we can pose those.
Perfect.
So about, with respect to the camp out at Taquina, there was a significant cleanup there about 5 years ago. And Director Ledane will have it on the cleanup list for early this spring again. She points out that we need it to dry out more before the proper equipment can get back into that camp to do the job. In general, we put resources into more visible areas because we see them and we get more patron complaints. And then earlier this past summer, we spent about $20,000 on a cleanup west of the entrance to the park. And this is before we got the money added into this year's budget for cleanups. Staff do pick up camps and cleanup throughout the year as they can. They tackle the smaller ones these days, and Apex, who's a contractor for us, tackles the larger ones that have really drained our resources in the past. As we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, as I mentioned to you when this came up, we've already used $37,000 of the $80,000 that was budgeted, and we do anticipate easily exhausting that amount once it dries out and we can safely and more affordably get back into the areas. At Taquina, we service the public areas and restroom areas every day during the summer and approximately 3 days a week in the winter, as we don't have the temporary staff during the winter. And then also we are waiting to hear from the police department on how often they are back there also with vehicles to do camp scouting missions. Now that's summarizing cleanup. As far as ivy and invasive plants go, our city forester has advised that we have had several volunteer events in the past to tackle ivy, both at Taquina Landing and elsewhere around town. And Jay is on the Benton County Weed Management Area Steering Committee, which is an organization that helps put those on. We also have a Adopt a Park program. One person was fairly active on a more regular basis pulling ivy from trees. It's been a while since that work party has taken place out there. And for ivy, it is better to mechanically or by hand remove ivy from trees than to use chemicals due to the waxy layer on ivy leaves. This is the first complaint about ivy at Taquina Landing that Jay can remember, but maybe it's because our previous Adopt a Park effort was, that adopter was more active in the area. Similarly, the crew notes that they tackle issues that they see when they're out and about or whenever we get reports on an area. And Adopt a Park, we'll talk to them about adding that area to an upcoming work party in the spring. But even if we could have eyes on all parts of the parks and open spaces, we just don't have enough people to do the work. And I think that's a common problem in cities around Oregon. So that's the summary for you, and we'll be happy to, if that raises any questions for you, we can address them Wednesday.
Well, I'd love to know when the next cleanup event is and how we can publicize that. I would love to be there, and I'd love to ask other members of our community to be there as well. Can we get that information about when
Sure.
the next cleanup is?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Trodson. Next, I'd like to I would like to thank the mayor for hosting a town hall with Senator Merkley and Representative Bynum, and for taking questions from the audience by a random drawing. I felt that was a fair way to handle the questions from the audience. So thank you for doing that and doing it in that manner. Lastly, I wanted to talk about last night. I attended a candlelight vigil outside the courthouse for Alex Preddy, who was tragically shot and killed by federal agents this past weekend in Minnesota. His death is a heartbreaking loss, and it reminds us how important it is to stand with vulnerable members of our community. As a city council, we need to have a real conversation about how we can support our immigrant neighbors here in Albany. I've shared with the city manager a resolution drafted by local leader Nancy Greenman that offers practical steps that we can take. I know that there may be some concerns about some of the details included in that resolution, and I wanted everyone to know that this is a moment for us to come together, not just to make promises, but to keep them and to show up in meaningful ways for our community. I'm an Army veteran, and in basic training, we were taught never to obey an unlawful order. These federal agents are coming into our communities and committing crimes against our residents. I don't see this as lawful. It's unacceptable, and we cannot turn a blind eye. We have a responsibility to protect the people who live here, even if that means protecting them from the federal government. The resolution focuses on key actions, such as creating a bilingual webpage in English and Spanish with clear information on immigrant rights and available resources, seeking grant funding in partnership with community organizations to provide services for those impacted by ICE actions, and taking any other steps that the council deems appropriate to uphold the spirit of that resolution. This is about more than words, it's about action. Albany should be a city where every person feels safe, supported, and valued, and I'm asking all of us to work together to make this happen. Let's take the steps to show our community that we are committed, not someday, but starting now. So, Mr. Troutson, I'd like to ask that city staff review that resolution that was sent to you, make any revisions needed, and bring it back to council for consideration. When do you think that can happen?
Well, I'll be able to email you all after we take a look at it and let you know when that is.
Is there any way we could bring this back on Wednesday?
If it's pretty simple and straightforward, we probably can. It would also be good if we noticed it in an agenda packet for a meeting, which at this point it hasn't been, but that doesn't mean we can't bring it back Wednesday.
I would consider it an emergency resolution, and I'd love to see it acted upon with urgency.
We'll look at it right quick.
Thank you, sir. And that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Councilor Thompson.
I don't have anything.
Councilor Newton?
Nothing today, but I'll share stuff Wednesday.
And I have nothing today also. I'll share stuff on Wednesday as well. With that, we'll go to city manager's report.
And I'd have nothing other than to advise you or remind you that you have an ARA meeting on Wednesday as well.
So after the city council meeting?
Correct.
So item 8 on our agenda, recess to executive session to consult with counsel concerning legal rights and duties of public body with regard to current litigation or litigation likely to be filed in accordance with ORS 192.66, subparagraph H, subparagraph 2, paragraph H, in accordance with the ORS 192.660, subparagraph 2, subparagraph E, to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to negotiate real property transactions. It is now 4:57.
city manager have an update or no?
You already did.
Oh.
You said you had nothing.
Okay.
You didn't have anything, excuse me. So I will see you all Wednesday night at 6 PM here in Chambers. And with that, I'll adjourn the meeting.